Elegant music. Very elegant. Oh, Persona 4 music though. Here we go. Welcome in everyone to the final part of Ace Attorney 4-bit. We're going to be returning to Ace Attorney, I think, probably after October. So around a 2-month break. That's fine. We'll be doing the final case in Ace Attorney, and then leading on to, well, that'll be alongside Persona. I object to the stream. Can't do that, friend. I'm the judge. Can't object to the judge. Speaking of the judge, the emote finally got allowed by 7TV Twitch. We've got the judge emote. Maelstrom put together the emote for this during one of the previous streams, and we now have it because 7TV finally allowed it to exist. So thank you, 7TV, for doing that. But let's get started, shall we, and get into the news. Time for more court stuff. Yeah, more court surfing, indeed. The schedule for the week, chat, is over. We're finished, chat. We're done with Ace Attorney. Monday and Friday. Friday is today. Next week, we're going to be moving on to, well, I'll talk about that in a second. Yeah, we're going to be stopping Ace Attorney for now. I've mentioned this before. This is a good graphic to kind of show why. We're going to be leaving Ace Attorney to play Silksong and come back to it in November. We're not going to be abandoning it per se, but we are going to be leaving it behind for a bit. This is a good piece of music. But on that note, Silksong releases on September 4th, Thursday. So I kind of need a Monday stream. So the Monday stream next week is going to be a Hollow Knight area randomizer. That's going to be September 1st at 1 PM. It's going to be a one-off. It's not going to become a series. I'm just going to activate an area randomizer where every single room is randomized. No item randomizer, no enemy randomizer, just an area randomizer. Because I'm crazy and I want to suffer. And this will be a good way to kind of lead into Silksong. It'll kind of hopefully increase the levels of hype I have for that game. Because right now, they're there, but they're not crazy. I'm not like, oh, I need to play this game right now. I know Silksong is going to exist. And when it does, I'll play it. But until then, it does not exist. I'm also aware streams are probably going to be very quiet during that time period. People are going to want to play that game on their own. So if people want to hop in, and if they aren't playing Silksong, feel free to do so. But also, if you can't and you just want to lurk, that is also fine. Don't feel like you need to be here because you saw Ace Attorney and be like, oh, I'm going to watch also Flower play Silksong. No, you're going to get spoiled by everything. Sorry to inform you, but Silksong release date is going back to 2036. You know what? That sounds pretty good to me. That means I can finish Ace Attorney. And then maybe play Chronos on stream as well. But unfortunately, because Silksong is coming out on September 4th, Chronos is not going to be recorded, and Ace Attorney is being pushed back. Honestly, I don't mind that. I'm looking forward to playing Chronos on my own. I also finished Portrait of Ruin yesterday. My consensus on this game is it's very good. I think I like it more than Dawn of Sorrow. Dawn of Sorrow is a good game. I think it is heavily bolstered by it being a sequel to Aria of the Soul, which I think is probably the best handheld Castlevania game. Not as good as Symphony. I think Symphony is still my favourite Metroidvania from the Castlevania series. But Portrait of Ruin is really damn good. I don't think it's better than Aria. I think Aria is still better. But I do enjoy all the portrait shenanigans. I think that it allowed for a lot of very interesting new locations. I thought the primary combat loop was better than the soul mechanic. I like having two characters. I like how the spells work. I like how the sub-weapons work. The questing mechanic was stupid. There were also bosses in the game that you could be in about 3 seconds because of 1,000 knives. The final boss sucked, but that's kind of been a usual thing in Castlevania games. I don't think there's been any Castlevania game where I've enjoyed the final boss. Let me think about it. Symphony of the Night, final boss is probably the worst part of that game. Circle of the Moon was hard as balls. Harmony and Dissonance, I forgot what the boss was in Harmony and Dissonance, really. Ario's Sorrow, I don't hate Chaos. I think Chaos is fine. It works. Dawn of Sorrow's final boss is not good. And this game's final boss was also just annoying. It's a cool idea for a final boss. I can't say that it doesn't look bad. It looks really cool. But it is, yeah, I was like, oh. This is how we're going to end the game? Okay. Crown of Candy. In case anyone is interested in tabletop shenanigans, I've been watching more Dimension 20 in preparation for Critical Role Campaign 4. It is fantastic. It is everything I wanted, in, a kind of Game of Thrones-esque story in a world where everyone are candy people. I think that's a fantastic idea. The main issue I have with it is trying to remember what characters are what characters. Like, I think Brennan does a good enough job of making you know who is who, for the most part. But definitely earlier on in this show, I was like, okay, who's this? Who's that? Who's that? Okay, there's this and there's that. It's a sort of show where you can't have it on in the background because there's so much going on. I'll probably be watching Campaign 4 Critical Role with more of an eye. I plan to, with EXU Calamity, to probably actually sit down and just watch that and not have it on in the background. I think I might make a thing out of it, maybe, in the Discord and watch it there. Bondo probably has the best Dracula fight, mainly because it's the same Dracula from the start of Symphony of the Night. Yeah, I like the Dracula fight in Symphony of the Night. Weirdly, I think one of my favourite final bosses in the Castlevania series is from Castlevania Revamped. You know, that remake of Castlevania 1 as like a Metroidvania. The final boss in that game, minor spoilers, it's like your classic Dracula fight where he fires flames and other things at you, but they're all color-coded, so you can tell before the attack starts what the attack is going to be, and it's cool working out how to deal with every single move and getting around them and whacking them in the head. It was a really cool fight. I don't remember I think the Super Castlevania 4 fight's not bad, but it's still a little bit I'm also playing this right now. I was always planning on buying Metal Gear Solid 3 because this is one of my favorite games ever. But I bought Metal Gear Solid 3 on Steam and I'm starting to play it. I was a little bit worried at first because the first hour of my time with this game was me having to constantly reopen it because it kept crashing. But after the first bout of stuff, it got really good and it just didn't crash anymore. This is the risks you have when you make your game in Unreal Engine 5, I guess. It looks good. I think the lack of filter that the game had. Flower, I see not a full remake listed. It's not a full remake. Okay, maybe that's not a nice thing to say. But what I mean is more like a remaster than a remake. But it is from the ground up. Fair enough. But okay, maybe the word I should have used is not a reimagining. There you go. That's a better word. You happy now, chat? Am I not gonna get angry people being like, Flower doesn't understand video games anymore? I don't mind the fact that they've reused the voice acting. I think it's fine. It would have been nice to have everyone come back to work on it. I think most people would have come back for it. They did actually re-orchestrate the intro, which I have mixed feelings on. I think that the vocalist is fantastic. I think it's better than the original song when he originally did it. But the visuals, they spoil the fuck out of the game. If you don't want to be spoiled for the end of Metal Gear Solid 3, do not watch the intro because it literally shows the final boss. And I think that final boss is one of the best parts of a video game I've ever played. Yeah, this game is special to me. It's one of the few games that got to me emotionally at the end in, a pretty devastating way. I think I saw you play Metal Gear Solid 3, Maelstrom, if I remember correctly. Could be wrong. What? Why do they do that? I have no idea. They just decide. It's the Japanese style of teasering, I think, right? Because in Japan, when it comes to doing trailers and stuff, they just kind of show everything. It's less so about being surprised, it's more so being about how do we get there? How do we get to this moment? But I don't like that, because, like, I don't like, I like not knowing anything. Snake Eater's my favorite MGS game. Yeah, it's my favorite as well. Like, this game is, it's one of the reasons I don't want to play Metal Gear Solid 5, because I love this setting, and I know 5 is kind of a sequel to this game, but it's unfinished story-wise, and I don't really want to deal with that. Would have played 5 too if, you know, I would have got my channel taken down. I think my ranking, which is a weird ranking, is probably MGS 3, MGS 2, MGS 1, MGS 4, and I haven't played MGS 5, so I wouldn't know. I've heard Peace Walker's good. We're getting Racing Crossroads Day 1, maybe? That's cool, Jeppo. Hopefully you enjoy that game. If you haven't played 5, you should play 5. I don't... The thing is, yeah, as Michael Patterson says, from people who I've talked to about the game, is it's good, gameplay-wise, but story-wise, it's really weak, and I do kind of don't want to end the series on a dour note with 5 just kind of ending abruptly. I don't know until I play it, but I also am worried about that. I want my memories of MGS3 to not be, I don't know, tainted. So it's unfinished for sure, but it might be one of the best stealth action games ever made. Well, I'll see. Maybe at some point when, like, you know, I played this, and in the future I feel like I want to play an MGS game, maybe I'll play that. But not now. It's still too recent for me, I feel. Anyway, we're gonna do guess the game, and then we're gonna get... Oh, I didn't mean to do that. But, no, yeah, I've heard the combat. I've heard the gameplay is good in MGS 5. It's not enough for me to want to play it, but yes, I've heard it's good. Okay. This is Color Splash. Don't ask why I know this, chat. I'm a massive Paper Mario fan. I haven't actually played Color Splash. It's one of the few ones I didn't play because I didn't have a Wii U. Mostly because I didn't have the money for it at the time, but I like Origami King a lot. Origami King's the Switch one. People were like, this is bad. It's probably the best Paper Mario game they could have made given the circumstances, and I think I like it more than Bubba Ship. Oh, it's Rayman. Remember this game, chat? The washing machine boss that was awful? People were like, this game's good! Wasn't this one of Linky's, like, childhood games? Ooh. Okay, I have no idea what this is. Wow, I didn't even try with that one. As much as I like Still Wakes the Deep. I saw MGS in the thumbnail. Oh, I would have streamed MGS 3 if I had the time, but unfortunately every single game's coming out right now. Like, also I've already played it, so you're not going to be getting like a full blind reaction to it. Like MGS 3, I love the pieces. I played that game twice. That game is a bit heavy. Or Still Wakes the Deep. Yeah, I know. I played Still Wakes the Deep. The best part of it is the voice acting. Unfortunately, because of how many horror games I've played, it does feel a bit generic. Nah, the MGS... Oh, no, yeah, MGS 3 is great. Like, story-wise, it's probably the best Metal Gear game. Like, it has the silliness of the series, but it actually tells a pretty decent story, and the characters are good. I think MGS 4 is too goofy. It's heavy in system. Yeah. And you can play it now on modern consoles without having to use a streamed version of it for PS3. Right. Chat, I'm going to get the game up and then we're going to get started with Ace Attorney. I don't mind doing a long pre-stream because we might be done in about 2 hours today, chat. Depending on how long it takes to get through the court. I haven't got anything planned, so I don't know what we're gonna do afterwards. What's this music? This sounds like the Easter music in Final Fantasy 14. Papaya, 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 dun dun dun. No, this is too Nyan Cat for me. I don't like this.